ఫస్ట్ ఆడే చెక్ చేసుకోండి.
నీకు పంపిస్తుంది.
ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకుంటుంది. ల్యాప్టాప్ తీసుకుంటుంది.
సార్ పంపిస్తాను. అయిపోయి ఇన్ని చేస్తున్నాం మనం.
మీ దగ్గర వైర్లెస్ మైక్ లేదా డీజే? ఏది?
లలిత్ మైక్ 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 డీజే
ఇదే ఒకసారి అది ఏది రిసీవర్ ట్రాన్స్మిటర్ సరే.
మళ్ళీ వేరే సెట్టింగ్ అయితే సార్ మళ్ళీ సెట్టింగ్ చేస్తాను. డెస్క్టాప్ అది
డెస్క్టాప్ వచ్చేసి
డెస్క్టాప్
వచ్చేసి
హలో హలో హలో
మైక్ ఆన్
మైక్ ఆన్ హలో హలో
సౌండ్ చెక్ వస్తుంది. సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్ మైక్ చెక్ మైక్ చెక్ మైక్ చెక్ ఇంకా నీకు వాళ్ళ డబుల్ డబుల్ రాదు మన కాల్లో. 1 2 3 సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3 సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3 సౌండ్ చెక్ Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. Sound check. 1 2 3. Sound check. మీకు అక్కడ సౌండ్ చెక్. సౌండ్ చెక్. సార్ ఒకసారి ఓపెన్ చేయండి. సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3. సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3. సౌండ్ చెక్. అది ఎప్పుడు సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 1 2 2. హలో 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 సౌండ్ చెక్. హలో 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 సౌండ్ చెక్. సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3. సౌండ్ చెక్ 1 2 3. సార్ ఓకే క్లియరా? సౌండ్. సార్ మీకు ఇక్కడ మాటలు అంటే నాకు అది రాదు. ఏమొస్తుంది అంటే 20 సెకండ్ తర్వాత వస్తుంది. సౌండ్ చెక్. సౌండ్ చెక్. మైక్లో వస్తుంది. నీకు కనిపిస్తుంది కదా సింబల్ మాట్లాడేది వస్తుందా వస్తుందా వస్తుంది రివ్యూస్ ఇంకా నీకు ఆడియో అవసరం లేదు డైరెక్ట్ కెమెరా ఆడియో ఆడవుతుంది ఇంకా సౌండ్ చెక్ సౌండ్ చెక్
కాకపోతే వాడు ఛార్జింగ్ అయిపోతుందో చెక్ చేసుకోవాలి
Hello. Right. Ready? Done. All the best. What is your partner? All the best. Smiling. Done? Yes. For me, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If I say everybody will understand that why good morning you are saying. But I do understand for VNR VGIT Engineering College, the founders and the leaders, they have made us in such a way that every moment is a great morning for us. With that energy and that excitement, we start the work. Whether it is morning or whether it is evening or afternoon, we always feel fresh. So before going to start the session, this event, first of all, any organization or a family where there is no respect for the elders, then practically those family and those organization they cannot thrive. So before this, first of all, we must remember those great founders who have established such a great organization that is VNR VGIT. Give a big round of applause whether they are here or not, but they should listen. As we know, we are from India and we know that Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu, Guru Deva Maheshwara. That's why we must have a respect for those great mind and soul and the great heart and the great spirit. My dear friends, whether it is an organization or an institution, if today is such a wonderful day that the great senior leaders from industry and academics is a great synergy. And VNR always believes that we want to invite and the great guidance and support from the industries, and based on that, we must introduce such courses which are really need based. So that is why we have invited all the great HR leaders and industry leaders from many of the companies. And thank you a lot that you have accepted our invitation and you have found some valuable time for this organization. So again, a big round of applause for those industry people, those who have come here. In addition to that, thanks to the great people, there is everybody says, people say that we don't have time. Somebody asked, if there is no time, how the population of the world is growing so fast. But here, today, those who have got time out of their busy schedule, canceling Delhi, canceling other programs, they have come here. Practically, that is what they are, the successful leaders. And with us today, I invite all the chief guests, the great soul, the vice chancellor of the Skill University, and the honorable speaker, Srinivas Dada. And in addition to that, of course, from the institution, the principal, sir, and the founder and the great leader, president, sir, and the HODs of the organization, those who have come here, please take the advantage of being together. Let's learn from our industry leaders so that we can also train and groom our young children, that they should really be trained in those skills, whatever is really required. And now I would be requesting our Gen Z people to take and anchor the total program. Yes, I would like to invite, please come on dais, come up to the dais and start your anchoring, please. Give a big round of applause for these Gen Zs.
A very good evening to all our esteemed dignitaries and respected industry leaders. It's truly a privilege to welcome such a distinguished gathering today. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. K. Ranjan Panda has set the perfect tone for our industry academia conclave, warmly welcoming us and highlighting the transformative power of collaboration between academia and industry.
Good evening, everyone. Today's event brings together professionals who have played a vital role in shaping organizations through people, culture, and leadership, making this gathering especially meaningful for all of us.
In today's rapidly evolving workplace, conversations around human resources extend beyond policies and processes. They focus on people, purpose, innovation, and building sustainable organizations.
And discussions like these gain even greater relevance when they are held in spaces that actively nurture future professionals and leaders.
So that is exactly where institutions like VNR VJIET plays an important role by serving as a bridge between academic learning and real-world industry perspectives.
For over 3 decades, VNR Vignana Jyoti Institute of Engineering and Technology has stood as a beacon of academic excellence, innovation, and institutional integrity. With a legacy spanning 30 plus years, the institute has consistently nurtured industry ready engineers, fostered cutting edge research, and built strong collaborations with leading organizations across sectors.
Its commitment to quality education, outcome based learning, and holistic student development has positioned VNR VJIT as one of the most respected institutions in the region. As we gather the Industry Academia Conclave, we celebrate not just an institution but a legacy of transformation.
At Vienna VJIT, the focus is on fostering holistic development by providing an environment that goes beyond academic learning, emphasizing strong academic foundations along with practical skills, critical thinking, and ethical values.
With a strong focus on innovation and entrepreneurship, Vienna VJIT empowers its students to become agents of change and future leaders. As we look towards the time, Vienna VJIT remains committed to shaping responsible leaders and creating a positive impact on society. So, to To start the event, I would like to invite Dr. B. Chennakeshav Rao, Principal, VNR VJIT, onto the dais. Start. You tell Parasa. Yes. Let's do this.
It is now our privilege to invite the honorable dignitaries onto the dais. May I request Dr. D. Pardasarthi, Head Training and Placements, VNR VJIT, to grace the dais.
Thank you, sir. Now it's my privilege to invite Sri Daggubati Suresh, sir, the President, VNR VJIT, to grace the dais.
Thank you, sir. I request Mr. Srinivas Reddy Vudumula, guest of honor for the day, to grace the dais.
Thank you, sir. It's now our honor to invite Mr. VLVSS Subbarao, our chief guest for the day, to grace the occasion.
Thank you, sir. May I now have the pleasure of welcoming all our esteemed dignitaries to light the traditional lamp marking the auspicious inauguration of the program. I request everyone in the audience to please rise and join us in the ceremonial moment. It's an honor to introduce Dr. Pardasarthi, Head Training and Placements. Dr. D. Pardasarthi serves as the Head of Training and Placements, bringing strategic leadership in enhancing student employability and strengthening industry academia partnerships. The focused approach to skill development and corporate engagement, he plays a pivotal role in aligning institutional outcomes with evolving industry expectations. May I request Dr. D. Pardasarthi to address the gathering?
Respected dignitaries, dear esteemed industry leaders, dear colleagues, good evening to you all. It is my privilege to extend heartfelt appreciation to the industry leaders who have honored our invitation and joined for this industry academia conclave, which is very important today. At VNR Vijay IT, guided by our visionary leadership, we strive to remain at the forefront of imparting new and critical skills to our engineering students and then other students as well. Particularly in the era of AI penetrating rapidly, the technology reshapes the jobs, skills getting, moving faster or disappearing faster, but in the era of, the AI transmission. So it is, we are compelled to look at, are we investing enough in building competencies among the students or among the youth to build a good future for the nation and for themselves. Our greatest strength is our youth. So they are in the age group mostly 25 years, you know, a, a good number of students or number of youth available in crores. So building future ready capabilities and equip them with the right skills is a challenge in front of us. So this is where industry and academia must join together and come up with to nurture the talent that is not only employable but innovative. This conclave provides the perfect platform, which we believe, to deliberate on the importance of the new age skills and chart actionable recommendations that will shape the future of the workforce. So, thank you once again for your presence and support. Together, let us commit in bringing a stronger bridge between academia and industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your insightful address and valuable perspectives. I deem it a privilege to introduce Dr. B. Chennakeshav Rao, Principal Vienna VJIT, to you all. With nearly 4 decades of experience in engineering education, research, and institutional leadership, Dr. B. Chennakeshav Rao has played a key role in academic excellence, research growth, and innovation initiative. Now, I request Sir to address the gathering.
Good evening to all of you. Namaskar, Swagatam, Suswagatam to all the distinguished guests on the dais, off the dais, panelists, deans, heads of departments, my dear friends, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure to welcome you all once again on behalf of VNRBJT on my own behalf. Today we are all happy to see you all here at VNRBJT, even though we're conducting a T-Hub, but on behalf of VNRBJT, I would like to express my heartfelt gratitude to all of you. Without your support, it is not possible to reach to these heights. So thank you once again, all of you, for joining this evening at this venue. So I would like to briefly present about our institute. Yeah. The foundation, Vignan Jyoti Society, was conceived in 1990 as a not-for-profit organization by a group of visionaries, entrepreneurs, and educationists. So VNR VJT was established in 1995 with an intake of 220 in 4 disciplines. Today we are offering 17 UG programs with an intake of 2020 and 16 PG programs with an intake of 216 and PhD program. Full-time also we are offering at VNRVJIT. So the philosophy of the society is excellence as a practice. So our vision is to be a world-class university providing value-based education, conducting interdisciplinary research in cutting-edge technology, leading to sustainable socio-economic development of the nation. So our mission is to produce the technically competent and socially responsible engineers, managers, and entrepreneurs who will be future ready. To involve students and faculty in innovative research projects linked with industry, academic, and research institutions in India and abroad. To use modern pedagogy for improving the teaching learning process. So, our main motto is Tamasoma Jyotirgamayam, which means darkness leads us to light. The executive committee, as in today, even though the founders, chief patrons, and members put together 53 people started this society, and we have 7 institutions that are running by this society. One of our institute is VNRB JIT. So the executive committee consisting of Suresh Babu Garu, Raghupati is the president, is a second term president. Thank you, sir. So under his leadership, so we have vice presidents, General Secretary Durga Prasad Garu Kode is the retired IPS officer. Recently, we have recruited one CEO. She is Anuradha Madam. She is also retired IPS officer. So that shows we have a excellent industrial people who have started this institute. And in addition to that, we have eminent experts in the technical education. So like UB Desai Garu is the founder, director of IIT. He is our advisor. And Y. Srinivas Rao is the ex-DRO chief. He is a director R&D. So to improve R&D activities, especially we have taken some projects from the defense and as well the space also in addition to industry. And Ramurthy Garu is a well-known person in electrical field. So like that, Professor Vikram Garde is the chairman of Research Advisory Board. He is a professor of IIT Bombay. So like that, these are all the people they are guiding us to move forward in this technical education field. So regarding the accreditation, so I think for any institutions, if you want to measure the quality of graduates which are coming out, so that will speak about the accreditation process. So the consistent trajectory of national recognition is NAC 3 times we got highest grade. First time we got A grade with a 3.21, second time 3.83, and third time 3.68 out of 4 scale, which speaks the quality of the institution. And NRF ranking also. So most of the time I think we are there between 101 to 150, but recently 151 to 200 we have slipped actually because of 2 reasons. One is the NRF people they are asking full proofs, because even though I think industry people they are recruiting first initially they are providing internships 1 year or 6 months, but later on they are converting into full-time offer. But the NRF people they are asking full-time offer only. So because of that we are losing some marks. And NBA also 8 programs already accredited by NBA National Board of Program Accreditation. Out of 8 programs, 2 programs we got 6 years accreditation. That is the maximum period that normally we are going to give accreditation by National Board of Accreditation. And QS Gauge 2 times we got diamond rating, and Innovation ARIA band performance, good performance, that we got it. Regarding the intake, so we have UG 2040 and PG 216. And PhD also we have full-time 13 scholars. It is a self-supported, self-financed by the institute. So every month we are paying 25,000 rupees for pursuing PhD at VNRVJT as a full scholar. Then this is the only college retaining the core engineering branches like a civil, mechanical, electrical, automobile. And in addition to that, we have instrumentation, electronics and instrumentation, electrical engineering, in addition to computer and CSC and allied subjects. So we're also retaining the core engineering. But many of I think other colleges, if you can see, many colleges they have closed core branches and they have started IT. But whereas VNR VJT, we are still retaining that core branches. So we have a strong research ecosystem. So during the last 5 years, if we can take So we have published nearly 3,300 and plus research publications and 29 startups. We have a VJ Hub that is incubated at VNR VJIT, and this is the Section 8 company. So we have provided a space for whoever is having an idea, either student or a faculty or a alumni or any industry person also, if they want to start a startup, so our management is giving 5 lakhs as towards a seed fund. So with that, they are going to build product, and that way we are going to help the students to build whatever the skills that are required by the industry. And so we have completed 82 projects worth about 8.5 crores till today. And as on today, so 22 ongoing projects worth about 6.23 crores. Recently, we got 1.3 crores worth project in the defense organization. And we have a center of researches, 11 centers we have. So we have a strong research and startup culture ecosystem is there in the campus. So regarding the industry acceptance and the students outcome, so the maximum package last year we got 9 to 2 lakhs that is offered by the rubric. And so remaining, if you can see the, so last year we have provided nearly 2,112 offers, and nearly, especially the computer science and analysis subject, 95% of the students are getting placements. But in core, maybe I think 80 to 85% of the students they're getting placements. The maximum salary is 92 lakhs and the minimum salary is 3.6 lakhs. So we have excellent differentiators. So the VJIT has got some advantage when compared to other institutions. We have a differentiating pedagogies which are implemented at VNR VJIT. We have wit and will. Wit means why I am teaching, what I am teaching, why I am learning, what I am learning. So that is the one concept we have implemented. We will take one industrial scenario that we are going to connect with all the syllabus and we'll teach in the classroom. So that way, I think they're going to apply really whatever the concept that they're going to learn in the classroom. So we have a VJ lab protocol and storyboard. In the lab also, we are allowing the students to do project-based learning also that we have implemented. And career vision approach. In the beginning itself, I think in the first year, we are going to allow the student to choose their path, in which direction they want to move. So that way, I think we are going to guide, we'll invite some industrial experts. With that, I think with their help, actually, we are going to conduct some lectures. Based on that, I think they're going to select whatever the area, whatever the path that they want to choose at the beginning itself. So accordingly, we are going to train the students in that particular direction. So we have a shadow engineering and mirror engineering. Shadow engineering in the second year, they are going to visit industry. They are going to observe how the industry is functioning. And in the third year, we have a mirror engineering. They'll go and do the internships. So that way, they are going to learn whatever the skills that are required by the industry by attending internships also. So beyond the classroom, holistic character building is very, very important. According to NEP 2020, I think everybody is talking about holistic approach and interdisciplinary skills also that are required. So we have a center for presencing and design thinking. So this is the one center, I think. So there, no college is offering. In 2018 itself, we have started 2 courses. First year, in the first year itself, we have a design thinking awareness program, and the third year again we'll have a design course. So that way, I think the student they are going to learn all the concepts and they are going to implement in the third year itself. So we have a show and tell. If somebody is having an idea, they have to present in front of all the peers group. So that way, I think we are going to help the students to improve the presentation skills also. Happiness and well-being, I think nowadays, I think everybody's talking about you have to start this type of course to the students, so that definitely today, because of peer pressure, because of the parents pressure, I think the students they are struggling a lot in learning. So that is the reason, that's why we have started this happiness and well-being course at VNRBJT. And institute innovation cell also we have, will allow the students to present their ideas. So whatever the idea that they have in their mind, so that they're going to present in front of the selection committee. The committee recommends, we are giving this financial support as well as space also to implement their idea at VNRVJIT. So, so the main objective of inviting all of you here, you're all helping the institute to grow further actually. But still, today we have 2,000 plus students every year graduating from VNRVJIT. Because the core sector is, I think, we are unable to fulfill their ambitions. So that is the reason, that's why we are going to divide into 4 groups. One is the core sector, IT enabled sector, and product development. And fourth one is if somebody want to go for higher studies or a research, then we are allowing them to grow in that particular direction. So the partnership pillar, I think, between the industry academia, because we have a 540 faculty, out of which 282 faculty with a PhD qualification, and another 165 faculty they're pursuing PhD at various institutions. So that's why there is a lot of research is going on in the campus. Suppose if the students and the industry people together, if we can work with our professors, definitely we can fulfill their requirements also. So in this connection, I think academic collaboration is very, very important. So we have introduced professor of practice. Already we have recruited 22 faculty members from the industry. So they'll come and teach weekly once or twice, and that way I think they're helping in building the curriculum and as well as the guiding the students and delivering partially also. So that way we are requesting all of you, please try to give some resumes, so that definitely we are going to invite them and see that they'll implement whatever the ideas that they have in their mind. So industry driven certificate, we're also allowing the student to take up at least 2 certificate courses in emerging technologies before leaving the campus. So in addition to 163 credits. So that is the reason, that's why I request all of you, please try to help in this particular direction. If somebody is having any idea or somebody is having some specific skill set, so they can come and teach to our students. For that, we are going to give the remuneration also. So guest lectures and delivery, and anyway we are inviting, so there you're all helping us in delivering the content or latest developments in the technology. And faculty development program also, we are conducting faculty development program to upgrade their skill set, and that way I think we need your help. And partnership pillar 2, research and consultancy, in that we required some industry problems. Suppose if you are facing some problems, if we can share those problems to institute, so that definitely we are going to discuss among our faculty and students, and we'll provide the affordable solutions. So that way I think we'll have some association between the industry and academia. And productization, we have some already some startups are there. If you can help us in building the product and transferring the technology to the industry, so that way I think we need your help. And we call it as all the new technologies, mezzanine technologies. So we are going to have establish joint laboratories on campus. AI, that is a HPC lab or AI lab or a data science lab or IoT or a cyber security. All these labs we want to develop, because all of our faculty, they are going to enroll in NPTEL courses, and that way they are going to upgrade their skills in all these mezzanine technologies. So joint research, I think we are welcoming joint research. If you have any research problem is there, definitely you can pass on to us, so that we'll provide some scholars, and those scholars definitely they'll work throughout the year and they'll provide the solutions. Third one is the startups and innovation. So that is also very, very important. So mentoring, beta labs, and CSR support is required to improve the startup culture. Because today, I think Narendra Modi ji, what he says, we have to encourage our students to start their own startups when they're there in the campus. So that way, we are encouraging the students. So finally, we are looking for collaboration. So short term, medium term, and long term. So guest lectures, expert talks, hackathon problem statements. If we can give the problem statements, so that we'll conduct a hackathon at the campus. So that way we are going to utilize your services. And student projects and case studies. So through case studies or problem solving or a participative learning, definitely they can improve their skill set. And midterm student internships, anyway you're all providing internships, placements. I think we don't have any problem in this particular direction. Only we are asking only full proofs instead of internship letter. If we can provide the full proof letter, that we can submit to the NRF ranking. So technology awareness workshops and faculty immersion program. Recently, we have sponsored 5 faculty with full pay to various industries, because AICT they have introduced this fellowship program, industry fellowship program. So that is the reason. That's why I think we request if anybody, if we can inform to the AICT, so that AICT will display that list, and accordingly we can spare some faculty throughout the year. They can work in the industry and they can learn the practices, good practice that they can transfer to the students. And long-term curriculum co-design, so definitely we are inviting industry experts on our board of studies. Already they are there, but still we are expecting some more people, so that definitely they are going to help us in building the real-time curriculum that is required by the industry. So because everybody says that there is a gap between the industry and academia, so that we want to avoid. So that is the reason, that's why we are taking input from you, and that we are incorporating every year. Joint research and consultancy, establishing industry sponsored labs, professor of practice already we have introduced at VNRVJT. We are looking another 30 more people. So we request all of you, please try to, if somebody is really interested to deliver partially or to guide the students, you are welcome to VNRVJIT. Long term, we are going to enter MOE with industry, and that way I think these are all the areas where we are looking for help from industry. Thank you once again, all of you, for sparing your valuable time. I wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I take the privilege of introducing Shri Dagupati Suresh Babu, President Vignana Jyoti. Shri Dagupati Suresh Babu is a distinguished industrialist, acclaimed Telugu film producer, and the president of the Vignana Jyoti Society, where he provides visionary leadership for institutions like VNR, VJIT, and VJIM. As the chairman of the governing council of VNR, VJIT, he plays a pivotal role in shaping the institute's strategic direction, focusing on academic excellence and fostering an ecosystem of innovation and entrepreneurship. May I invite Shri Dagupati Suresh Babu, President Vignana Jyoti, to address the gathering.
Good evening. Thank you, Baragaru, for being here. Thank you, Srinivas Reddy garu. And thank you all for participating in our event today. When I see so many HR leaders here, something comes to my mind. I, like they told you, or probably you know, that I'm from the film industry. So when we were there, the way we used to hire, sir, my son is useless fellow, sir, please put him in the movies. So all my directors, cameramen, all these guys were Veedu Panikarani Vadu, please take him. So that's the way our industry grew. But having said that, now when you look at all these people, they were really smart kids. It's like what we want today from people. These guys had human empathy. These guys knew how to cut, do the jugaad, get things done. They were really smart. Otherwise, this industry wouldn't have grown this much. If you see in the first generation, there's hardly anybody with a degree, but everybody was practically very smart on what they had to do. They were taught what was needed, and when a film is made, there are about 25 crafts directly every day, from the person who cleans the utensils right up to the top, working in the same location, and it just goes like an orchestra. It's just done so well. So there's some method to that madness. And I guess now the world is also going that way. Earlier, uh, we were very clear on what we wanted our kids to do. And I remember when I was young, my father wanted me to study engineering or something so that I will get a job and set up an industry. But after I came back, he said, make movies only. And I was thinking why I should make. Then they told me there is the rest of the industry is uneducated. You're educated, you'll have a better opportunity. And that's how I stayed on and I did fairly well. This role of mine as the president of Vignan Jyoti Society is something that my father and his friends together started the society with an intention to see what we could do, that uh, God has been kind, the world has been kind to all these people, they've made it well in life. How can we contribute and make the lives of many people better and run an educational institution in the way an educational institution should be run in the private sector? We are a pure not for profit, and it is run like a not for profit only. Uh, so that's the value that we bring in to the children also. The ethical values are also very high in the campus. And our intention is to try and make an institution which stands out in this relatively not so comfortable society. Having said all this, we now know that we are at a crossroads. Technology is changing so much. So we want you our principal and others have been asking, please tell us where the skill gap is. Please tell us what we need to do. How should we train our students better? Because I feel every time I go to college, I see all these boys coming up with aspirations, and then you read in the newspapers, so many jobs cut, so much the market is falling. So somewhere it's our responsibility to see that we are able to guide these children in the right path, tell them so that they have a better future. We also run other institutions which go hand in hand, an agricultural institute, a management school, an art school. So our responsibility is to see that we are able to give them a proper direction so that they will all have a good life and make our country better. So I want you all to tell us and help us create a really top class place. Thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. I take the honor of introducing our guest of honor, Mr. Srinivas Reddy Budmula. He's a seasoned HR leader with deep engagement in the NHRD network, having served as a national board member and past president of the Hyderabad chapter, an XLRI alumnus, and the current president of the XLRI Hyderabad Alumni Chapter. He has held leadership roles with organizations such as Godrej and Boyce, Dell, and Tech Mahindra. I invite Sri Srinivas Reddy Budmula to address the gathering.
Thank you all, and thank you, VNR Vigyan Jyoti, for giving me this opportunity to be here. Thank you, the distinguished guests here, Subbarao Garu and Suresh Babu Garu and Channakeshav Garu and Parsa Garu, and my colleagues from the industry and HR fraternity and lots of people. It'll be a great evening for most of the folks in the room. Great to see the whole room is full. And yeah, you have the best, in terms of knowledge, expertise, and these HR leaders have seen it in the last 30, 35 years, how things have transformed and what the industry can expect. I'm wishing everybody a great evening. uh, Personally, VNR Vignan Jyoti, I know it. I know the institute from little closer quarters. I know Dhananjay Naidu Garu for many years. So I know when he was there in Vasavi and then he moved to VNR. So since then, I'm aware. Second is my nephew studied there. And like Suresh Babu Garu said, my brother-in-law had to make a choice between which institute he should go and study, and he wanted an institute which also imbibes values and discipline, and he has chosen VNR. So, and they're very happy parents, and so I really give a lot of credibility, credit to the team, and especially the association and the management, which really orchestrated or designed that kind of an institute and environment. Right, kudos to all. And um, today the topic is, I think the next two sessions are going to be around AI. That being said, Hyderabad is the GCC capital of the world. There are plenty of opportunities which are there. It's just that the the industry, the academic institutions need to just get ready to be able to give talent which the industry wants, right? Can the institutes provide industry ready talent, right? Being talked about for many, many years. But I think now it's a lot closer to the finish line than ever. Thanks to technology, thanks to a lot more acceptance, thanks to industry reaching out and understand that unless they shake the hand with the academic institutions, it's not, the problem is not going to be solved. So I think institutes like VNR should seize the moment and reach out to more corporates and do a lot more collaborative stuff. That being said, yeah, I mean, say, especially in computer science, technology, IT, AI, it's a lot easier to collaborate compared to other core engineering functions, which require a lot more immersive learning. So I think industry can come forward And I personally believe that industry is ready to come forward, because at the end of the day, the more productive the resources are on day one, the lesser the cost for the industry, right? It makes sense for them to be able to have ready resources. So it's just that need to be well coupled. Um, Now, today's topic is about AI. I just wanted to, and I want to give an offer to Chennakeshwara garu, saying that if there is any faculty who want to come and be part of the immersive learning in the AI labs of ours, we'll be happy to absorb one of them. Right. That being said, while there are a lot of reports, and then recently, just yesterday, the tech leader from Microsoft said a lot of white collar jobs will go away and other stuff. So there was a joke going around in our WhatsApp group saying that I think it's time we should change our collars to maybe black or blue or something, so that we can keep our jobs. I'm just pun intended. It's a long, long, long way to get there. Okay, I don't think anybody need to worry about it, but I think AI is here to stay. At least we see that it's gone beyond discussions to actually implementation. A lot of folks are seeing great benefits in AI. Is that foolproof, and is that going to be the new order of the day? Sometime away, but I think everybody who wants to look at the future careers, I think AI has to be integral part of their scheme of capabilities. I think that's a good thing to do. Cannot ignore. So my only wish to the institute is, yeah, adopt it early. And a lot of there's huge dearth of talent in that space. AI, ML, Gen AI, a lot of demand is there. I think it's a good idea to have some kind of an immersive learning or great labs, access to some LLMs, helping kids to be able to train the LLMs, and then able to produce something which is very interesting. I think that will be something which institute can look at. It calls for investment, but I think it is worth the investment, and it'll also help you build a good brand. So I only wish a great evening to all of you who are in the room, and great learning to all of you, and great interaction, and all the best to the VNR, and of course kudos to the whole management team of VNR. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your thought provoking address and valuable insights. I deem it a privilege to introduce our chief guest, VLVSS Subbarao, to you all. Mr. VLVSS Subbarao is the Vice Chancellor of Young India Skills University, YISU, Government of Telangana, an innovation institution focused on skill based and industry aligned education. With over 30 years of experience in education and administration, and having served as the principal economic advisor to the Government of India, he leads YISU's strategic vision, academic programs, and collaborations that bridge the gap between academia and real world careers. It is now our privilege to invite Mr. VLVSS Subbarao, our chief guest, to address the gathering.
Thank you so much, Sri Suresh Babu garu. Thank you for having me here, distinguished members on the dais, of the dais, the galaxy of HR luminaries assembled here. There's a belief or saying in our Hindu mythology that when a set of people meet for the first time in a particular place, you can be sure that they would have met at the same place 2000 years ago. That's a belief. So it's indeed a great pleasure seeing you again after all these years. And the theme of the day is artificial intelligence, as I can understand. And I always wanted to be a teacher, but nobody gave me the job of a teacher, so I somehow meandered into government service. And then after superannuation, I come right back into what I once wanted to be. So it's all karma and some kind of a message being answered. So artificial intelligence, the moment you say intelligence, my mind goes back to my days in the Ministry of Education when I was additional secretary and we were drafting the NEP, National Education Policy. So I happened to draft a couple of chapters myself, and then when the whole document was ready, there were different working groups for the National Education Policy NEP. Then my secretary told me, you see, all these people have drafted their respective chapters in their own language and so on. So you just take it with you and see that there's a homogeneous language thread through the whole document. Just go through it, and let's get it done in 1 week's time. So I had to sit with all the people's chapters, read it, go through it, change it. Basically, I was writing it in my style. I mean, bringing a homogeneous thread in the whole thing means that we have to write it in my style. And in between, I had doubts. What is this guy trying to say and all that? I used to ring them up, boss, kya bol rahe ho? What do you mean by this? Then I had to. And one of those people was none other than late Kasturi Rangan himself. So I had to rang him up with much trepidation and said, "Sir, would you mind if I disturb you?" Yeah, tell me, Subbarao. And so this particular para over here, what exactly did you mean by that, sir, if I may ask? You see, Subbarao, what I meant is, and then he went on for the next 45 minutes on that. So I had to quickly jot down, and towards the end of it, whatever I remembered, I put it in. Therefore, anything in the NEP, you just pick up any page at random, we can start discussing it. So while that is the reason why I mentioned NEP was that when we concluded the NEP in 2020, little did we know that in 2025 or 26, the world would transform so much that so much of the NEP is already becoming inapplicable, irrelevant, or whatever, and the credit goes to artificial intelligence. And it was, in a way, thrust upon the world in certain countries and then very rapidly transferred itself to the rest of the world. And now it's a compelling reality that is staring at us. And it is also so many institutions are into artificial intelligence and all that. Some are delicately poised on the verge of entering, I would say delicately poised even for the IITs and also and all, because there's not much of expertise that has got into the educational institutions. No institution can confidently say today that we have this strong AI faculty and so on, because the real strength, knowledge lies in the industry when it comes to artificial intelligence. It will remain like that for some more time. Therefore, this collaboration with industry is absolutely essential if we have to groom our kids of today for the not so distant future, for the immediate future. Not even we are not even thinking of several years down the line, because 5, 6 years down the line there'll be no colleges. I mean, the way it is going, there'll only be learning platforms and assessment bodies and so on. So that's the speed of transformation. Whenever technology enters a particular domain, the speed of transformation is often very rapid, and in this case, it is extra rapid, so to say. So, in the context of our where we are at the moment, Telangana, Hyderabad, the localization of AI is the most essential necessity. The localization pipelines that have to be built in, because AI is language neutral. I mean, there's a Government of India project on it also, that there are 12 models of localization, which Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav is so successfully leading, IIT Madras being the hub and so on. Localization models in a state like Telangana, the Telugu states put together, would mean not just the concepts as they were enunciated in an English background, in an English culture, but the depth of the Telugu culture also has to be embedded into the system. So it is a challenge and it is a necessity. It has to take place, because when you say that even your servant maid can teach your son class 2 lessons or class 1 literacy lessons, it means that if she has to understand it, there's a localization pipeline that is necessary to reach out to practically everybody. We are making the population AI enabled, AI friendly, and AI using on a regular day to day basis. So right now, students have reached the state of chat GPT and doing it rather effectively to cheat professors, to cheat everybody, everyone, and so on. I mean, it's happening. We can't avoid it. So this kind of a AI penetration, which is now necessary, it has to take place in a very organized way. Organized way. The stakeholders in this are the government, of course, the university system, because government autonomously it functions through schemes. And if you launch a scheme for AI with a government funded in a government funded manner, the funds are bound to be misused, and industry will be left choked and worried as to where have we lost our way. It always happens. So if it's rooted through the university system, with industry made a direct stakeholder, with an outcome orientation as to in terms of the outreach, that is the need of the hour at the moment. like about nearly 3 months ago, when I was talking to Mr. Ashwini Vaishnav in a particular function, I mentioned to him, sir, you have to start funding universities. If the rapid AI has to be spread of AI has to be generated. He says, yeah, kuch scheme ban raha hai, we will be funding. So when the chief minister formed the Young India Skills University and I was requested to be the VC, one thing which I had in mind was when our campus is ready, because you don't get money from government of India unless your campus is ready. So it should take another few more months going by the deadlines given. An AI school or something, it can be named according to, because AI is again domain specific AIs. You have healthcare AI and so on. By itself, AI means nothing if it is not pushed through some domain or the other. So when you hear the word artificial intelligence, it is generally very awe-inspiring, and it could be intimidating also because you're sometimes lost. But when you think in terms of healthcare industry and the fact that already AI has crept into the healthcare industry, so you embrace the industry, then you incidentally embrace AI also. So then you suddenly realize it's no rocket science. You are understanding the industry, and therefore the technology that has crept into the industry will come to you also. So if you're already in a particular industry and AI has got into it, all you need to do is skill yourself as per the latest thing. So there are different modules that are required, starting from school kids, servant maids, right up to uh, manpower within industry, and then of course the government officials and so on. Because in every layer of society, there's AI penetration. It's a very scary prospect. It's a very scary prospect because you're not likely to find normalcy in the proceedings. So this kind of a technological disruption, so to say, is now has to be accepted. And from a creative perspective, let us say there's one session I think on creativity and AI. Now, does AI make us numb and dumb? That's the feeling you get, because for everything you rely on some machine to generate 4 or 5 options, because you get hundreds of options in AI. I don't think so, because there are people who have to use AI as a tool to express themselves better and to magnify their scope of imagination. Because when I was small, sir, talking about movies, when I was small, when my parents were small, the movies used to be seen in the open air. There used to be a screen on either side of the screen. People used to sit every 45 minutes. The reel used to be changed, another reel used to be put. When that became popular, some capital flew in. So the technology also followed capital, and full scale black and white movies came to be shown in theaters. When that became a hit, more technology and more capital followed. And then you had color movies, and then cinemascope movies, 70 and so on. As technology and capital kept expanding, there came a stage where great minds started coming into the film industry. When great minds started coming into the film industry, technology and capital became mere instruments to carry the filmmaker's vision to the cinematic extreme. That's when you had Avatar, James Cameron, Rajamouli himself. So valuations simply skyrocketed after that, because there was no limit to anything. You could think of anything, and there's a technology ready to for you to use. And so the creativity has only been enhanced due to the availability of AI. And we don't make films anymore; we only make images. So therefore, think of the kind of range that you have in your hand. You can just about create anything. So creativity is only going to be bolstered and pushed further with the use of AI and with the coming of so many techniques like metaverse and whatnot. So if you have to set up a lab for any particular field, it gets it needs to be updated every 6 months and so on. That is how fast technologies are changing, especially in the creative industry. So AI is a much welcome thing, because to enhance the viewer's experience, to enhance valuations, and to give an experience that is beyond to bring people back into the theaters rather than sitting at home and playing games on the mobile or whatever. That's the benefit of it. And as Professor Raj Reddy told me just a few days ago in Triple IT, you are carrying an Einstein in your pocket. That's the mobile instrument which is fully enabled and so on. When you have an Einstein in your pocket, then you're a leader. You're a leader in your own right. That's about as high as AI empowerment can get. And having dealt with the creative side of it, when you come to the HR angle of AI, From the HR angle, well, if you have a huge population which is not AI enabled today, then you have a problem of how to pick. And then when you have a whole entire population fully AI enabled, then you have a problem of whom to pick. So both constitute a problem. It's not easy when you have to go into that, because first of all you have to understand your own production processes, and when you're at the very top in the HR, you'll have a series of subordinates, and due to the extraordinary expectations generated, productivity expectations that AI generates, so your the mentee relationship between the HR head and the people whom he engages, like the Gurukul relationship or whatever, the mentor mentee relationship may take a hit, and you have to be careful that it does not take a hit. That's essential to preserve the basic human relationships between you. AI should not be allowed. If it does, we can't say that. It may happen also. But consciously, we should not allow the dilution of those kind of relationships, especially in the domestically also. Domestically, there's an HR at home also for all of us, the parent child relationship and so on. So, with children lost in their own world with an Einstein in their pocket, if the children are lost in their own world with having access to all forms of knowledge and entertainment, and if in that kind of a scenario, their minds are also packed with a whole lot of information, not necessarily wisdom, but a whole lot of information. And now, how do you deal with a kid like that? Can you tell such a kid, do this, don't do this, this is right, this is wrong? Not at all. Even if I go wrong, father is always there. That's the kind of a confidence you must, if you give your kid, then watch the magic after that. See the kind of achievements he's going to do. So there's HR in our everyday life. In practice, we are all HR professionals in practice in managing our relationships. So when artificial intelligence creeps in, it is going to cut into some of your basic sensitivities and the way you think, even without your own realizing it. So you'll probably, all of you will have to sit together and seek a solution in AI itself to sort out these matters, because that's the domain in which all of you interact. So, having said that, I would say that in today's world, uh, the absorption of artificial intelligence is the most important thing, while what is going to happen to employment is a big worry. Because on the one hand, government is worried that AI is going to displace manpower in huge numbers in a country like India. At the same time, it is also encouraging the spread of AI, and in a very rapid way, in a mission mode, through so many things. So how do you reconcile these things? It's for the government to worry about. There are small country models where it can be dealt with, because it is the origin of artificial intelligence is that they need people to work in aged economies which have aging population. That's when they needed more of automation to take care of the shortages of labor. But then once it became the trend, it caught on, and it became a, thanks to the multinationals or whatever, the spread has been very far, very rapid, and therefore we are now faced with that problem also. It The solution for that has to be found in a, it's a very sensitive issue. That's a separate story altogether. But right now we can focus on the intelligent use of AI in the education system. Education system, yes, there is a dire need for education system to use AI, because deep down in the, as you go interiors to the villages, towns, schools, colleges, government colleges, we still don't have good teachers. We still don't have good principals over there. We don't have academic leaders, so to say, as you go deeper and deeper into that. So that's where the AI tools come in very handy. And schemes can be, why, even without waiting for schemes to be devised, universities can collaborate with industry in this regard. So we at the Young India Skills University, very nascent, incipient stage. We are at a very incipient stage, and we are setting up labs in our Kandukur Mandal, the campus which is coming up in Future City, over 58 acres. There's about 80,000 square feet of lab space that is ready for our model of collaboration. Is that we give the entire infrastructure, and we also engage trainers on the request of industry, on the suggestions of industry. So industry can come forward, set up their labs, and we'll mobilize the students. We can undertake co-branded certification or joint certification of all kinds of short-term courses, That is a step for the future. And being a UGC 2F university, we can also affiliate universities, Section 8 companies, colleges, and so on. So, our model of engagement for this critical sector is very clear. It's going to be available within a couple of months from now. And I would welcome the leaders of today who are active in this field, and also the HR executives who will be carrying the news back to their respective companies. For the moment, let us celebrate this wonderful institution, Vignan Jyoti, and the remarkable achievements it has made over the couple of decades since its inception. Hearty congratulations, and I wish you much success, growth, and diversified growth ahead. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words and for sharing your valuable experience with us. It is now our privilege to felicitate our guests. We request sirs to accept our token of gratitude for gracing this occasion. Now I request Sri D. Suresh Babu, President Vignanajyoti, and Dr. B. Chennakesava Rao, Principal VNR VJIT, to felicitate our chief guest, Mr. VLVSS Subbarao. May I request Sri D. Suresh Babu, President Vignanajyoti, and Dr. Pardasarthi, Head TNP, to felicitate our guest of honor, Mr. Srinivas Reddy Budumula.
We heard some truly insightful thoughts from our speakers, and I think we all can agree they have given us plenty to reflect on.
Absolutely. And before we get too comfortable just listening, it's time to switch gears and get a little more interactive.
That brings us to the next segment of today's program, the panel discussion.
And to ensure the discussion stays engaging and meaningful, we have a distinguished panel of jury members with us.
The topic for this session is AI enhancing human creativity? May we now request our esteemed jury members to kindly join us on the stage.
Please join me in inviting Dr. Ravi Dasari. Dr. Ravi Dasari is the Vice President, HR and OD at RVR Projects, where he leads human resources strategy, organizational development, and people centric initiatives. It's our pride to reveal and congratulate Dr. Ravi Dasari on being elected as a board member in the National HRD Network. Let's give a huge round of applause for Mr. Ravi Dasari.
Dr. Poonam Jindal. Dr. Poonam Jindal is the head of learning at Lloyd's Technology Center, where she leads strategic initiatives in organizational development, culture, and workforce learning. A recognized voice in HR and future work skills, she brings deep experience from global tech organizations and a focus on empowering talent for the future.
Mr. Ravindra Verma. Mr. Ravindra Verma is an experienced Vice President, HR and OD at RVR Projects Private Limited. With nearly 3 decades of expertise in human resources, organizational development, and strategic people leadership. He is also known as an HR and OD strategist, management consultant, TEDx speaker, writer, and Rotarian, and actively contributes thought leadership on talent, leadership, and workplace dynamics.
Miss Lalita Vemareddy. Miss Lalita Vemareddy is a senior human resource and talent management leader, currently serving as the Ed HR at ZF Tech Center, India. part of the global ZF group with a strong focus on automotive and technology solutions. With over 20 years of experience, she specializes in talent strategy, career architecture, employee engagement, retention, and HR transformation initiative. Now it is over to Dr. Ravi Dasari for the panel discussion.
Since I'm standing here, I thought,
Hello.
let me use it for 2 minutes, then I'll go back there. Esteemed dignitaries, professors, and HR fraternity, and my dear student friends. I could see two things happening in the world. There is a lot of obsession for technology upgradation, particularly AI adoption. Second one is mindless obsession for cost cutting in corporate industry, corporate India. Everywhere I heard a very large multinational company posted very impressive financial results. Next day, a very interesting news is 20,000 jobs are cut from that company. And earlier, we used to say that some cost cutting is happening because to save the cost, probably they wanted to improve the efficiency. Though the organizations are efficient and cost cutting is happening. And interestingly, everybody is speaking about generative AI, how it is going to impact us. Somebody says, probably I may lose my job. One of my HR friend was telling, earlier there were people who were propagating policies in the organization, today which is not happening. And before getting into the panel discussion, I wanted to throw some insights about a very interesting research conducted by Stanford and Harvard professors. They have identified around 78 people working in a UK-based fintech company. They wanted to understand how this generative AI is impacting, how the unlearned person becoming a learned expert. They have they have taken a sample of 78 people. They have classified them into three categories. And they have taken the content writers from a fintech company. They are well versed in writing. Second one is they have also identified a set of people, marketers, who know the subject matter. And third category, they found as the technical people. Technical people. The first category people, they said experts. Second category are adjacent outsiders. And third category, they named as outsiders. And first category people were given a job of writing. On a scale of 5, they fared at 4.2. They are the experts. Second category people were given the same job. They failed to even meet the standard of 3 on a scale of 5 without using AI. Then they have made an experiment. They have asked people to use generative AI to improve the writing skills and to, to produce similar articles on the website. Interestingly, the second category of people, the adjacent outsiders, their quality has improved to the extent of 4.2 on a rating of 4.225. And the experts' ratings stood there only. They have not moved from that place, though they are using generative AI. The third category, technicians, interestingly, they stayed at 3.2. See, the interesting outcome of that research, it says even do not expect generative AI as the panacea for all the problems. There are lot of limitations for generative AI. This is one of the important conclusions, and they named it as AI wall. There is an AI wall which is the limitation, and this AI wall, please need to understand, but for every problem, don't expect that AI is going to resolve you. AI has limitations, and that is where they have concluded stating that expertise is required in every field. Experts are required. Based on that conclusion, that organization began hiring youngsters into the system, because that organization realized that unless you have the youngsters, unless you train the expert, unless there are experts in the industry cannot move further. So my humble submission to all of you is, though we speak a lot, there is a lot of obsession, but it has got limitations. And somebody made a very interesting comment in Harvard. He said the trailer is very, very interesting. We could see some beautiful pictures, beautiful things, lot of maybe the productivity improvements, and all that happen, all of them are happening, but the real movie may not be as expected, because everybody is looking at it, and maybe the real movie may not be as attractive as people are thinking. So uh, before then we have I'm very glad to present a wonderful panel, three panel of experts. We have Mr. Ravindra Verma is head HR of RVR projects. We have Poonam is academician turned into L&D head. She heads L&D of Lloyd's Technology Center. We have Lalita takes care of the CHRO, works for ZF. The first, yeah, I think, yeah, yeah, yeah. The first question to all the group members. We are speaking a lot about generative AI, and how the generative AI is improving the pro- uh, improving the creativity in the organization. Is it really contributing the creativity? Are you finding any improvements in the productivity, output, or even the new way of doing the work? So I wish to start with yeah, Lalita. Yeah.
Very good evening, one and all. Myself, Lalita. I head HR function for ZF Tech Center. And what is ZF? ZF is a tier one supplier for automotive solutions. And what we do in ZF is we develop advanced software, electrical, and autonomous vehicles, which is making the future of mobility much more safer, reliable, and intelligent. Mark the word intelligent so that in my conversations I'll brief about what kind of an AI interventions we have put in place and how it has really helped crafting our innovation in the center. To answer your question, Ravi, yeah, to me, creativity is not all about generating a new idea, which is not something that is coming from yesterday, which we have not done anything so far, but it is also enabling our engineering possibilities by improving its speed, its quality, and also safety. Because I'll answer this question because I come from an automotive industry, so it's easy to better to understand and relate it. If we look at our own space, we have tried AI in multiple ADAS applications. In fact, this has helped our engineers to design multiple options and numerous ADAS scenarios. I can give short example where we've created a simulation environment and where we could test thousands of edge cut scenarios, like low light, heavy rain scenario, maybe pedestrian identifications, and unpredictable traffic behaviors, which we all experience. Because of AI, we were able to test all those scenarios, which in real time is extremely impossible to test in a manual way. So, my submission, yeah, AI will accelerate your creativity. It will, in fact, accelerate your imagination, but not at one cost, which is accountability and validation, which will still lie with humans. So that's the core of our industry, keeping safety in mind. So that has really amplified our creativity in the workplace.
Good. Good to hear about the automobile industry. And Poonam works for the technology service company, and particularly the bank. I think they are doing a lot of initiatives. So how the AI is contributing to the efficiency of an organization, maybe in terms of creativity of an organization?
Thank you, Ravi. And first of all, thank you for having me here. And I want, before I start on the topic, I just want to mention that in a way, in a different capacity, I am alumni of VNR, VJIT, and VJIM because I was a professor with VJIM for almost 9 years. So it's very nice, a nice feeling to come back and talking here on this
Welcome back home.
platform. Yeah. Coming to the topic, um, how AI is building creativity or what kind of examples organizations can quote. I being in learning capacity, I can share a very good example rather than explaining it. I think everybody has explained about it and a very good point that you love it or you hate it. What Srini was saying at that point, but you cannot ignore it, right? So that's the fact. But how we are using it in learning capacity, I'll give you one example. I work for a bank. It's a 400-year-old bank, so you can understand the legacy and how much content they have in terms of learning. So lots of learning built in the system, and then you find there is a learning module which is 1 hour module, and somebody has to sit complete that 1 hour learning. And we being in bank, we understand that they are frontline executives, they work on bank, they do not have time to sit and learn for 1 hour. So what we have thrown to our designers, and we have a big change and design team at LBG. We asked them how you can create this 1 hour module into a 10 minutes learning, right? So it is the capacity or it is the creativity of that designer, how that designer is going to change it into a 10 minutes learning. But how AI has helped, so we have tools like Synthesia, right? They knew how it should be used, but they knew what kind of video they are going to create, how they are going to build this 1 hour 50 slides into 10 minutes module in a 5 to 2 minutes of videos or so. So the tool only helped them to build something new, but the designer had that creativity already, and the tool helped build that creativity on the next level, right? So I see that there are lots of examples where we use AI to enhance the creativity. But of course we will talk on that side as well, where what is that people are not able to understand and not able to take up. But I believe that you are a creative person, you will use it for creativity. You're not a creative person, you will try to find out the replacement of your work by creativity. That's it.
Yeah, thanks for sharing a lot of examples how AI amplifies the creativity. And as you rightly said, we cannot afford to ignore AI. I was trying to understand the size of this new AI companies. Maybe Anthropic, somebody said Anthropic's market value today is much higher than the total value of Indian IT service industry. I heard it is around $375 billion. That is the size. And even I heard something about investments made by Google, the capex made by Google. Somebody said capex of Google is higher than Indian budget, which is around $180 billion. So we cannot afford to ignore, and people are pouring a lot of investments, and everybody is using, and we have absolutely no choice except to move ahead and probably use it for the betterment of the society. Having said this, I Ravindra works for infrastructure as well as the pharma industry. I wish to understand, Ravindra, what kind of case studies that you have in improving the productivity of an organization, particularly using AI tools or AI technologies, with your experience in both pharma as well as the infra industry.
Good. Thank you, Ravi Dasari and the team of VNR VJIT for inviting me for this session. I was asked a question that I'm representing a company which is into pharmaceutical and which is into construction and infrastructure. We have also solar industry here. we have several cases like, last year we got several projects for my company called RVR projects. All are not similar, all are varied, different, different projects. Like one is canal project, another is dams project, another is highway project, another is a reservoir project, another is tunnel project, another is electricity project, kind of, lot of roads, highways projects we got it. Like all the projects cost, like value is, each project is valued of 6,000 crores. Like in Amaravati, we are constructing a 6,800 crores of project. And then in Madhya Pradesh on Narmada River, we are constructing two barrages with, you know, with supplying water for nearly about 1 lakh hectares. And then Pune Outer Ring Road, we are constructing. Similarly, we have a lot of projects. Suddenly, we got a requirement of nearly about 3,500 people to be recruited in our organization. What to do with the small team, without any tool we have at that point of time? We have to recruit 3,000 people at a go. And if we are not uh, meeting the timelines, milestones, penalty will be imposed on the company. That's kind of thing. Okay, then our entire team has geared up. We have got a AI tool, help from one of our American counterpart, and then use that tool to leverage this requirement. And then we identified that we have only nearly about 22 interviewers in our organization, whereas we have to screen nearly 12,000 resumes for this 3,000 positions at one go and complete, and then put people at a right time, at a right place, with the right skill. This was the big challenge that, we were shocked at that point of time. But AI helped us understanding that how many interviewers we require. We have to depend on the external interviewers. Our team of people have spent, rather invested their time in identifying the interviewers, and then we have given targets to all the external experts, and then allocation of the people. Like we have a quality control, we have a quantity survey, we have planning and plant and machinery planning, uh, kind of, execution roles and all kind of thing. So to recruit this, we have to have our own recruiters. Our recruiters, we have hired all the recruiters from across industry, and then allocated and timely placement. We could, really put people onto the time because of this AI. And then screening also, when we have uploaded all the profiles to that, it was so helpful. And then it has given us the fit points for all this. If we have loaded 100, it is shortlisted basing on the job description and the skills required for that position, and then given us the shortlist. That helped us recruit people timely. This is one very interesting thing. This is a We have created history and put people onto the projects at the right time.
Thank you, Ravindra, for providing insights about the usage of AI. The other challenge, what I could understand is a very interesting research again conducted recently. It says candidates are much more well versed in AI than the HR professionals. They are preparing beautifully crafted CVs based on JDs, and again that is screening people, and probably again uh, how it is again that is posing another challenge. I remember when I was screening few people based on the CVs, the reality totally differs from what is seen on CV. That's another challenge, probably HR people need to encounter. Uh, Poonam, I think you have been using the AI for a lot of creative things, and the other side when you are excessively using the AI, what will happen to the cognitive skills of people? Is it really eroding the creativity of people or helping people to be more creative?
Thank you, Ravi, for this question. And being an academician for long, I think I love quoting, behavioral sciences, cognitive sciences, and so on. So I think, and if we look from, since you're talking about cognitive skills, I would probably, talk from cognitive science perspective. There are two spectrum. One is, if you are using AI, or for that matter, any support, you have this cognitive offloading, right? So as per cognitive offloading, if you are taking consistently external support to, do something, your internal capacity of dealing with something goes down, right? Similarly, with AI, if you are relying on that so much that you do not want to put efforts, you will get into that trap of, using it as a replacement and not trying to think beyond your capacity. But on the other hand, it frees human bandwidth, I would say, right? It gives you lots of time so that you do not need to spend on your time on monotonous or repetitive jobs, and you get time to think creatively, try to solve complex tasks and so on. So it's completely, again, I would say it's completely up to the human beings how they are going to use it. So it will give you both the sides. I always say, whenever AI discussion comes, I say there are people who are continuously busy in building AI and enhancing the capacity of AI, how we can make it more, how we can evolve it more. On the other hand, we have people who are discussing how we are losing our job because of AI, what will happen to world and all of that, right? So creative people or intelligent people are busy in building upon it. And I think Subbarao Garu already gave very good example about films. I was actually thinking about the same example in terms of, if we go to uh, time, caves time, and we start thinking, oh, why we are still not using those stones to generate fire. There is no question of that, right? Because of our creativity, we were able to think about that method, then we shifted to another method, then we shifted to next method, and so on, right? So at the end of the day, people who are thinking in the creative field, creative lines, they will continue moving to the next level. But if we start thinking about, oh, how it's going to take our jobs, what will happen to jobs and all, that's another way of looking at it. But we human beings, if I bring another theory, not remember who actually gave that, but we talk about zone of proximal development, right? So we have a comfortable zone, or we have a zone of proximal development, and we have frustration zone. So human beings generally, they find their sweet spot in zone of proximal development, where uh, they learn better and they stretch their abilities when they get any support in the process of learning. So if you get support of your teachers, for that matter, support of AI, right? So if you are getting that support, probably you're learning more, or you're getting better and better in that.
Thank you, Poonam, for providing a lot of examples from the movie industry. I remember during my childhood, Vitalacharya movies we used to watch. I think that is likely to become reality now.
Yes.
Uh, yeah, I think, yeah,
I think just to add, I think the key here is the argumentation and not the automation. It is up to you how much you want to offload, or you want to outsource your thinking to AI and become dumb. I mean, not been using to the best of it.
I think the last question is about, of course, we are using a lot of AI, and what rules ensure AI enhances without appropriating creators' work or bias? See, the why I am asking this question, I remember most of this, the data the AI gets is from, again, from the online sources, maybe something like Reddit, maybe Wikipedia, and all of them. What rules can really help us in yeah, in ensuring AI usage without bias or without much problem? Yeah.
This rules, when we talk about the challenges with, um, Dr. Ravi has started with, enhancement, right? But what is the opposite of creativity enhancement? Creativity suppression. Yes or not? This we need to keep it in mind. How many of you use AI now? No, not here. How many of you are using AI to impress your team?
Oh,
Lift your
everyone,
hands. Don't lift
everyone,
half.
everyone uses
So
AI.
good. But for what and for why? The important competency you need to understand. Have it. Once upon a time, communication was the important competency, key competency. Now it is curiosity. it is not all about using AI because we are untrained people using AI. Am I right? If we are not, once upon a time, I'll take only 2 minutes. Once upon a time, when I started my career, I used to work closely with my chairman of the pharmaceutical company, and he was brilliant in professional writing. So he used to give me papers to hand it over to somebody else. Then I used to read it midway, and then used to make a notebook of it. And then that's how I have tried to improve my English language those days, though I come from a Telugu medium. This is, but today suddenly, if I ask my team member or somebody else to bring a letter, they'll just put inputs and then bring a letter. For the correction of that, it is taking too much of a time for me. Rather, it is easy for me to write a letter and then give it to them. This is what it is happening at this point of time. Keep this in mind. And rules, when he was talking about rules are, we copy paste this data from different sources. Even AI doesn't have a control in gathering the data from the world wide web. So the challenge would be about somebody who has put his efforts and then developed certain data as an author. He has built a book, or he has worked on the music, or something else. You got my point? All this data, it will gather and give it to us. We, what we do is, without knowing the whether it is pirated, or whether it is having an IP thing, intellectual property rights, or a copyright, or a trademark, or anything, we don't bother about it. Just pick it up and then push it. That's not the way. It's not ethics, it's not values, that we are collecting the data from somebody else and throwing it. That's not the way forward. We need to real look at the plagiarism. This we need to keep it, friends. Okay, once we keep this plagiarism in mind, tomorrow we will be sued for not knowing and then publishing something. Okay, you may get the data from a rich dad and a poor dad, and then without, you might not have read such kind of book, and you will think that it was a generated for you exclusively. AI doesn't work for you exclusively. You got my point? So understand the reality and then start working, and these are the rules he was talking about. you know Work is one, done by somebody else, you can't. Okay, if you realize that, it will work wonders in your career. So don't get into that creativity suppression. You need to put your efforts and then start working. You can fine tune it with the help of AI, rather than copy paste and then showing it off. And understand, over a period of time, today you may sustain, you may celebrate, but over a period of time, understand that your boss also knows how to use AI. Thank you.
Thank you, Ravindra. When he said it, I did remember uh, recently, 2023, the uh, editor of Harvard Business Review, Adi Ignatius, wrote a beautiful editorial, and at the end of it, it said, "Hey, it is not written by ChatGPT; it is written by me." And a person like a Harvard Business Review editor is speaking about it. And very interestingly, after 1 year, he wrote another publication, another editorial, and he said, "I began using ChatGPT. I began using it." So we are living in the most exciting times of human evolution, and the institutions are teaching students for the jobs which are not created, for the technologies not invented, problems not identified. So we are living in the most exciting times. Thank you very much for the panel. Thank you to VNR for providing this opportunity. And I think we made some kind of understanding about AI. And of course, it's a huge thing. My professor keep telling me, the more you learn, the more you understand, you know very less. We understood that we know very, very less about the subject. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our esteemed panel members for a very engaging and insightful discussion. It's time to felicitate our jury members. Now, I request Dr. C.D. Naidu, Advisor, Vienna VJIET, and Dr. Sheikh Amzad, Head Department of Automobile, to felicitate Dr. Ravi Dasari.
Yeah, at the time of felicitation, I must also make everybody aware that it is our matter of pride that this time Dr. Ravi Dasari has been elected as one of the board member from NHRD India, sir. Right.
May I request sir to felicitate Dr. Poonam Jindal? I request Malika ma'am, Dean IQAC, to felicitate Miss Lalita Vemareddy. Thank you so much, sir and ma'am.
Before moving, thank you very much. In fact, I forgot to tell you my son studied in VNR Vignana Jyoti. And right now he's working in US and later he moved to NYU and he's working for Bank of America. Thank you very much, VNR.
Now we begin our second panel discussion.
The topic for this session is new possibilities with AI, challenges for engineers, and the shift in engineering education and practices.
May we now request our esteemed jury members to join us on the stage. Please join me in inviting our panelists, Dr. Kiranmai Pendyala Dutt. Dr. Kiranmai is a senior executive, board member, and respected thought leader in talent and organizational strategy. She has held key leadership roles driving HR transformation, diversity and inclusion efforts, and people centric business outcomes across organizations, including Western Digital and other global enterprises. Her mentorship and strategic insights influence both corporate and community talent initiatives.
Mr. Ritesh Jha. Mr. Ritesh is the head of talent acquisition at Lloyd's Technology Center India, bringing over 20 years of strategic HR and talent leadership experience across financial services, technology, and consulting sectors. He previously served as the senior vice president tech recruiting at City India and led major transformation talent initiatives at FIS, Allegis Global Solutions, and other global firms. Mr. Srikanth Surampudi. Mr. Srikanth is a seasoned HR leader serving as General Manager HR and Regional Head Human Resources at Tata Consultancy Services (TCS) in the Greater Hyderabad area. With deep experience in human capital management and strategic HR functions, he plays a key role in aligning people strategy with organizational objectives for one of the world's largest IT firms.
Mr. Madhusudan Reddy. Mr. Madhusudan currently serves as a professional at Doodla Dairy Limited, bringing practical industry experience and organizational contribution in the agricultural and dairy sector. He combines domain knowledge with strategic understanding of operations to support business performance and workforce coordination. Mr. Suresh Samudrala. Mr. Suresh is a principal consultant at Thank you. Now it is over to Dr. Kiranmai for the panel discussion.
Good evening, everyone. How is the pulse in the room? Listening is not something everyone is used to, right? Especially active listening. Are we all here? Not just physically, but also mentally. I didn't hear loud response to that. Okay, thank you, Mr. Panda. This is a very, very interesting topic. The other day, I was talking to one of the B school professors, and everyone now is looking at it cross industries. What is AI going to do? Majority of the time, there is more trepidation and fear rather than excitement and energy. Because anything new, anything which is coming on, and what we hear in the media and certain stories which circulate generally fuel more of negative psyche, because anything which is going to come in, there is always the principle which we always talk about as human beings is the WIFM principle. That is, what is in it for me? Majority of the time, people are struck and they think this only means something evil because it's the fear of the unknown. And I'm sure every one of us at different points of time have come across things which we are learning for the first time. But here we're talking about the massive and the rapid momentum, what we say as AI engine rumbling all around us. It envelops us, it embraces us, even before we realized it is now part of anything and everything you and I do. When nobody pointed it out that there is AI, many of us, we all watch OTT movies, right? Yes or no? It's no longer, I mean, especially thanks to COVID, while there have been issues with what we were suffering, I think OTT became a household name. Everyone started enjoying that. Now, isn't AI in OTT? Every one of us have been experiencing it. The moment you have a profile out there, it's going to show you the kind of shows or the movies which you really care for, what you like. So you don't even know there are other kinds of movies, different themes, because that's not what you have asked for. So what you feed is what you get. That is artificial intelligence. So, in other words, we say garbage in, garbage out. So, you have the steering wheel in your hands. That is a fundamental moot point of artificial intelligence. I think earlier the panel clearly across different industries, whether it's automobile or banking sector or the regular brick and mortar companies Ravindra Verma has represented, all of them and Ravi Dasri have beautifully talked about what the positive enhanced virtues of AI can be, provided you and I are ready to milk it. With that, we're talking about engineering education, engineers, and what does it mean if AI is making inroads? There is no if any longer, actually. AI has made inroads. There has been a paradigm shift, I would say, in terms of how the education needs to be. What are the shifts? Our chief guest so beautifully talked about the NEP and how he also mentioned most of it is already obsolete or redundant because of what changed. Industrial revolution. What happened at that point of time? Haven't things changed? The only thing all of us have to remember with engineers, engineering education, and what the schools, the colleges, the universities have to do, in addition to the industry institute collaboration, which we talk about, is very clearly what is changing. If you and I pay attention to what is changing, we also know what we can control. Because when I was talking to the father of AGI in the US last year, when I was there, very clearly he mentioned agentic AI is going to come in much faster. What does that agentic AI mean? It's very simple. Today, domestic friend, how many of us have a robo at home? Can you show by show of hands? There's several of us who have brought in a robo which mops and cleans and so on. Right? You enter into certain restaurants, you have a robo which will come and take your order, and it's going to bring your food as well. So it's coming in different sectors, different industries, healthcare, IT. IT is an application basically in any industry or sector. I have three panelists with me who come from different industries, as you have heard, and they're going to share with us what are the implications from an AI perspective to engineers, because they all recruit engineers. And you just heard, I know, can you do one more round of applause for all these recruiting engines? Because this is where majority of the students are going to go to. What is shifting? What is changing? Let us understand. Google as a company today invests $1.2 billion annually for learning and development. And it is in the forefront of technology. So why is it investing? So one of the moot points I think we will all understand is the only way to adapt and embrace change is we need to understand what are those new skill sets, and that will make our life easy because we will pick up what is not needed, throw it away, and we'll pick up what is relevant and needed. That is a shift we are referring to. With that, let me start with Shrikant, who represents one of the largest employers from an engineering perspective in the country. And he recruits engineers. As a GM of HR, he leads those initiatives. What do you think, Shrikant, are the kinds of skills students need to focus on today for them to enter into the industry?
Okay. First of all, good evening, everybody, and pardon me for my throat. I tried my best to give some excuses and not come, but I could not say no to VNR because coming to an event organized by VNR Vignan Jyoti is like an extension of home for us in TCS, and that's how homely we feel when we connect. And Partha sir is part of. We feel that is part of our family, so that's the comfort we get. So I could not miss this. When we hire engineers, because being one of the largest employers of engineers and talent in the country, when we look at talent around, we handpick from certain colleges which are, according to our internal standards, way ahead than the others, and VNR is definitely part of that. And in the recent past, we have also shifted our hiring model to more of a skill based hiring, because TCS is building its capabilities on AI, data, AI cloud, on cyber security, IoTD, VLSI, and we want students who are also having exposure in these areas. And that's where I always keep mentioning that students who are going that extra mile, already they're having a lot of inputs from institutions like yours, but like sir mentioned, you're carrying an Einstein in your pocket. So, sir, I'm going to steal this line for quite some time in future now. With carrying an Einstein in your pocket, it's all you're having a world in front of you in your hands, and that's what the students have today. But the choice is whether they want to sit in a place where they are ahead of the others, or they just want to sit part of a crowd. Because getting an opportunity in a leading institution like yours is definitely going to happen, but taking forward that opportunity to a great career ahead is what the student should be looking at. And in that aspect, one of the things that we look at, Kiran, is the learnability of students. So the ability to learn, that hunger to learn, and not feeling that I have achieved, I have arrived, getting an opportunity in any of the large companies. My journey has ended over here. Actually, the real journey begins from there, because the boys are separated from the men, and then the actual challenge is thrown in front of the individual as to how fast in the current times they are adapting themselves to the change, because change currently is happening at a pace which we are not even able to really fathom. So the students who stand out, take that, go that extra mile, keep learning, have that hunger in them, I think this is what we look at. I'll add some more as we discuss further.
Thanks, Srikant, for that. So I'm sure students, you're listening carefully. And of course, the educators, the faculty members are also making a note in terms of what is relevant and reliable from a student perspective when they want to find a placement. With that, I'm reminded of you're talking about AI as if it's a new thing. For some of us who have been part of large corporations, AI has been part of our life for quite some time. I remember an incident almost a decade ago, because Bahubali released when? Anybody remembers? We just celebrated the 10 years, right? So I remember I was in a company called AMD, and I was the regional CHRO managing about 40 to 50 countries across the globe. And we had this team which is dedicated to work with the director Rajmouli on the graphics for the movie, our engineers. And obviously, it's like a prestigious thing, and several of these senior engineers were all like giving it a shot, and they were all deputed to work on it, right? On that project. There was this young, freshly hired engineer who was crestfallen because he was so excited to be part of this venture. So he approached, but he had the courage to walk up to his manager and he said, I want to be part of the project. The manager just laughed at him and he said, oh, it's only for seniors. You're just a greenhorn, right? You'll it'll take some time. We'll see. This boy didn't give up. What he did was he walked up to the head of that business unit one of the days when he saw him and he said, sir, I would like to be considered. So the director looked at him quizzically and he said, really? And he said, okay, show me. What can you do? Within half an hour, and I'm not joking, within half an hour, this boy comes back. He's created something on his mobile phone and he's done a demo in terms of graphic design. And he said, I have used some tool, and nobody knew that tool existed, by the way. He used artificial intelligence, the so called today we're talking about, and he created something, crafted some. Today we're talking about Canvas and Persimmon, so many others, right? So he came up and he said, oh, this is something me and my friend were working on something, and this is what we created. The director was bowled out. And he said, oh, you are part of this. And he went on to, I don't know how many of you, you all remember watching the movie. There is something called Raja Koduri, who was the then CTO of graphics for AMD, was so pleased with this young boy when he has created this. And he definitely used the tools and technology. So, the point I'm trying to make is tools and technology are tools and technology. As long as we know how to leverage them, and then create. Because now the speed and accuracy with which you can create something which would have taken tons of engineers to slog for hours together, you can create it much faster from a data mining perspective, from a pattern recognition perspective, and so on. And that's what this young engineer has done. So we have been utilizing AI tools in human resources for almost a decade in the companies I have been part of, whether it's AMD, whether it's Western Digital, which is SanDisk, any of you know, which is the largest storage solutions, computer storage solutions company, or the organization where it's highly regulatory called NYSE parent company ICE, Intercontinental Exchange. It is part of the game. And I will share another story with you very soon on of another company where we have created smart warehouses. With that, Ritesh, I would love to listen to you coming from a 400-year-old large banking group, Lloyd's Banking Group, a UK based one. And we are talking about engineering education. You have built huge scale in a very fast pace, building in so many engineers into the LBG site in India, in Hyderabad. Now, what do you think is a radical shift you expect with AI making inroads in engineering education? How do you think it's going to evolve?
Thank you so much. We're aware that we are hardly around 15, 20 minutes away from the drinks and cocktail, right? So, and it's a Friday evening. So we'll make it very engaging for you. So, by the way, we are 400 years young company, not old. Human civilization is thousands and thousands of years of old, and money in different form appeared. It's interesting that we as a company actually printed the first currency note ever printed in the world, right? So, yeah, we house tradition, and we are very extremely proud of it. Coming to the point, right? In terms of how do we scale and what we are looking at. Look, we have been incredibly lucky to be in Hyderabad and to be placed here. And with hands on heart, having worked for different banks and across the region and across in India as well, it couldn't have been possible if we were not in Hyderabad, right? So the type of talent, the supply of talent, the scale, uh, the ease of living, quality of living, the recall factor among people, talent who are actually repatriating back to India. By the way, that's a great talent to hire from. And India is probably one of those few bright spots globally where there is a sustainable career, there is a stable political, socio-political order, there is sensibilities with respect to our ecosystems of housing, of our city built, urban builds, education system, and of course, very, very dynamic and ambitious young human minds, right? At this point of time, while we, and I'll come to the point in 5 seconds. At this point of time, there is nobody and there is no force in the world which can stop India from becoming the AI powerhouse of the world, right? There's no one, right? Be it from infrastructure, be it from government focus, be it from the ecosystem which has been built around technology, around services companies, around our 24 bar 7 supply module, apart from as basic as internet supply, cost of doing business, and most importantly, why we are here, thanks to our partner, the best in class young mind talent supply which we get, right? If you see the amount of engineers which India is producing right now, it's close to 1 million, right? And there are quite lots of reports which talk around 15-20% of them only being employable. They are not ready for the industry. It's actually a bogus stat. It's a quite bogus stat, right? The amount of people who pass out engineering, who eventually in next to 3 to 5 years, who get absorbed in the industry is more than 90%. So it is actually an issue with industry and the companies where we want a ready fit talent, where we are not ready to invest, where we are not ready to build, right? The piece which the companies have moved from a first design principle is that we need a ready fit. We want a person to be ready to be deployed from tomorrow, and should be productive from day after tomorrow. This is where we took a slightly differential approach in our build out phase. So we took couple of we took couple of different steps. Our apprentice intake is much more than what is minimal regulatory amount which we have from a government perspective. Because and the second one, and I'll come to it why we are doing it. There's another concept we call is try before you buy, where we are getting people from 50% set, 60% set, 70% ready fits. We build them, bring them in, we do an on the job training for them. And over a period of time, 6 to 12 months, they become FTEs for us, right? Together, that is approximately 10% of our talent supply pool. What it allowed us was to scale faster. Understand the fact that from a banking, and I will talk around banking regulatory systems, right? And also the technology which we use. 75 to 80% of our technology is concurrent stroke legacy. While there is quite a lot of adoption and talk around AI in the world, right? And everybody is talking adopting AI. Not more than 10 to 15% of your jobs are in actually in AI. 85 to 90% of jobs are still in core infrastructure technologies, platform engineering, business, in terms of testing, in terms of architecture build, and so on and so forth. So all is not lost that if you do not have AI capability right now, you'll not be employable. You'll be surprised to know that how many banks actually use ASP 400 as one of the infrastructure database inputs perspective, right? While so the entire industry is on a different life cycle, and the usage and reliability on talent with different skill sets is huge, right? Nobody can speak better than him, right? Who's probably the one of the biggest human resource engager and a quality talent supplier in the for the world, not only for India, right? For the world, they have been one of the pioneers in the world. So what we do is what we did was we took punts on people who were scalable. We took more on the will issue rather than on the skill issue. Skill you can always build, but if you don't have the will, it is very difficult to build. So we took that punt, right? The other piece which we looked at was from a sustainable talent supply chain, where we have hired in last 2 years now, we have hired from 256 pin codes. So we went deep into different regions, and it was very easy for us to run this entire hiring program only in Hyderabad. We have to have hiring drives which are published, and we have hundreds of people coming in, and we can hire that. But that's not our duty. Our duty is to provide equitable opportunities to tap in talent from different parts of the country. And we did that, right? So we have moved into different regions, be it central, north, east, west, and of course in different aspects within Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, different districts where we have gone deeper in terms of hiring. What it has resulted in is that our retention rates are pretty unheard of, right? This talent density of around 10 air miles has probably the highest amount of talent supply and also the fight for talent or war for talent. But at that point of time, our attritions are still around 5-7%. The reason is because we invested in industry academia model. We invested in people who were young. We invested in people who were semi-skilled but were hungry. And then we can, and also we invested in terms of going deep into different corners of the country and build and bring in talent
So,
and
what
put it
are the
back.
implications for engineering education? They don't have to shift anything?
So basically, contrary to the issue which is happening with engineering as a stream itself is that, and also partially people around it, is that we are focusing too much on the user application base. We are looking at the downstream process of it. We will need to go back to the drawing boards and study more around foundations of it. Study better around data, right? Study better around circuits, study better around electrical and communication. It's 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 a fallacy that if you're a computer science student and you should not know about chip design, if you want to know about chip design, you need to have better understanding of electronics. So it is becoming very percolative model. The streams are becoming very diffusive. People need to be very precise and wiseful in terms of choosing their electives. Choose from a different ranges and go deep in it. In I used to be in G, which used to be a talent factory, and that design principle does not change. Where you need to go deep and you also need to go wide. Once you go deep and wide, you build a very strong foundation, and then you can build a 50-story building. That's what is required, and that's my request from the.
I think that's a beautiful point all of us should note. So, for engineering educators, I think we should continue to build our engineers to think deep and wide in terms of their domain knowledge. And if they continue to do it, AI is no longer a threat, it's more of a tool which they can leverage. So they should be well versed with the AI with respect to how do they leverage the tools and technology, but they're not in peril if they really have their domain knowledge. And today, I think that's what we're missing out. And I remember some of you have mentioned earlier where they're just using AI so that they don't have to remember anything, they don't have to think about anything, they don't want to study anything. If that is the way the students are going, or the educators want the students to go, then of course they're not going to really plunder the resources. So it's really important for them to have a good foundational element. With that,
Just
you want to
wanted
add
to add,
something?
just wanted to add to what Ritesh said. At TCS, we have something on the same lines that you mentioned, something called the T factor, the breadth and depth of knowledge that each of us is building in our portfolios. And on the competency building, we are all measured on the T factor to a scale of 10. And it's all keeps on building on each of the learnings that we, imbibe and master, and also do the certification. So, whichever format, be it technology, domain, process, the T factor is what defines an individual's competency. And as they go further, there's something called the associate data currency. So as I keep learning as an associate, my data currency goes up. And there is this staffing team that sits and tries to map you to different projects and opportunities. They look at the data currency of the individual, which is going up and up because of the learning that he is having, because of the T factor that is focusing on in building competencies. So automatically using tools, the profile is mapped to all the new requirements that are there, and the based on the aspiration that the individual indicates, and also projects that move on and people move on to next projects, we look at the T factor. So I just thought I'll share, it just reminded me of that.
Absolutely. Thanks to that. I think what is important is everyone, whether the educators or others, should continue to leverage AI as a technology. And I remember what our chief guest has talked about earlier. How do we, as Young India Skills University Vice Chancellor, what did he talk about? He's talking about building labs. I think that is one of the clues for engineering educators. It should become more practical, where you create labs where you're enhancing the practical application of whatever the domain concept they're learning. So, the deep and wide, the T factor we're referring to, will all finally blend into, are they able to apply the learning? The knowledge has to be converted into skills. Only then they'll be better industry ready. AI or whatever engine we're talking about tomorrow is not going to take away jobs. The jobs are going to be different, and they will be ready for those recrafted, redesigned roles in any industry or any vertical. With that, let me ask Mr. Matsudin Reddy from Dodla Diary, what do you think organizations are going to change? Because you're going to intake engineers, but now the career paths, because they're hungry, they want to keep moving up the ladder. How do you think that's going to change or evolve? Because with AI era, agentic AI coming in, skill growth seems to be rampant and very quick. So, how does that work in organizations going forward?
First of all, thank you, VNR and Kiranmai ma'am. Uh, because how far I make sense, I do not know. But dairy being a agro-based industry, and Dodla Dairy is more than 25 years in the business, and we are a pan-India company. Ours is a listed dairy company. We have presence in East Africa also. We have a range of products, right from milk to various dairy products. So before getting into the AI, agentic, all these buzzwords, which are very, I mean, tech savvy, we are all very basic to, I mean, agro-based industry. So before getting into AI, I would like to put across that, India is the world number one uh, milk producer in the world. 250 million tons we have produced, and we stand top in the list. So I would like to say more than 80 million people are making livelihood, and more than a lakh people are employed in organized dairy sector. So huge. I mean, it is contributing 5% of our GDP. So all techies, of course, they have given some numbers. I would like to put across our numbers also. So large workforce is employed. If you look at the dairy process per se, so majorly there is procurement of milk, processing of milk, and sales and distribution marketing. These are the three verticals which are I mean, the basis for the dairy business. So if you look at the procurement per se, how we have evolved. Now, dairy being a process control, majorly regimentally, traditionally only doing daily to ensure that tomorrow you get the fresh milk at your doorstep. I mean, every day, same time, without losing the quality, and there should not be any two ways about it, whether it is a Bharat Bandh or tsunami or corona. You should ensure that the product is available.
Yeah, same was the situation in COVID as well, where essential commodities couldn't be hampered. Yeah.
Correct. So in the collection process, if you look at, since the students from VNR are looking at what is that dairy is going to offer to them. If you look at the milk procurement, see, there is a, I mean, we are collecting, I mean, I will refer my industry only, my company only. We are collecting close to 17 lakh liters a day, which is spread across all 7 states in southern India, including Maharashtra and parts of Kerala. So putting together 17 lakh liters daily, 150,000 farmers are supplying this milk. And what we are doing, to see that, the collection thing, right from the quality of feed the animal is eating. So we have created some chips and put the neck band for the animals. I mean, average if you take
So, do
four,
you
four.
also have engineers who help with all that work?
Exactly. That's what I am coming to the point, madam. So all these animals are tracked, how the animal health is, like whether it is having fever, what kind of mineral mixture it is eating, what kind of fat and SNF. If I give this, how much is my fat and SNF? Everything we are monitoring sitting at the Hyderabad corporate office. Similarly, if you take my production department, earlier it was truly transactional work, many silos, I mean, incoming, outgoing, different kinds of variants like, tone, double tone, full cream milk, various kinds of milks are passing through various silos, pipes, a lot of adjustments and knobs and all. So mechanically, everybody, I mean, most of the workmen, like, operators with ITA technicians and all, Polytechnic, they were doing all these adjustments. I mean, huge running here and there in the production hall. So for the past 10 years, there is a change. We have introduced full automation. I mean, we have imported machineries from Germany and Sweden, and today it is completely automated. If the vehicle is coming with along with milk tanker, it will be the pipe from the, I mean, at the entry of the reception, will take it and it will undergo pasteurization, homogenization, lot many things, and come out and stood at the packaging point. I mean, through packing machine,
So I
you
think
cannot see
what
what
you're
is happening
narrating,
inside.
thank you,
So
Mr. Reddy. What you're narrating to us is even in an industry which is agri based. See, we have now different industries out here represented by these panelists. Even there, we are talking about automation. We're talking about how every single process, which he painstakingly explained to us, has that engineering element and how they're able to capture data and also with accuracy and speed hasten it up. So, from an opportunity spectrum, AI is making inroads into every vertical, every sector, as we said. Automation is happening, artificial intelligence is coming in from a data analytics, tracking, because which are mundane, transactional, as I said, manual, is now being replaced or displaced. This, I think, all of us intuitively know. We know those are the jobs which are going away, but what jobs from a white collar, not just the blue collar, white collar, which jocularly earlier Srini Vidumila was talking about, right? It's also about not just what we say is the mundane and the faster processing, but also your creativity, your decision making. I'll give you a simple example of what happened right here in front of you. Suresh Babgaru and I were talking about it. If there are only five of us here, there's a sixth chair, and we had so many beautiful, I mean, students, smart intellectuals all around, and we were sitting there and we're thinking that chair, I mean, if there are only five, one should be taken away. And we were discussing this precisely earlier, and even now somebody had to tell, now this is not what AI needs to do. Human intelligence should surpass artificial intelligence. You should know why a chair needs to be placed or why a chair needs to be removed. How many should be there, how many should not be there. Artificial intelligence should step in to actually lead a process to make it easy for the human. Human is the one who designs, who architects, and decides why we are utilizing that tool or artificial intelligence. So, for the engineering educators and engineering colleges, I think the clarion call coming from various industries says, are we ready to embrace it, to take it on? Yesterday was the world's hug day, as we say. I think we should hug AI instead of shying away from it and move far away from it. Think about skills. Think about how do we get ready. So even for the educators, I think faculty development programs are essential because it starts from the faculty in terms of their readiness to embrace the new technologies and help the students leverage the new skills, and how do they incorporate it into the engineering curriculum where it's essential. Where it's not relevant, I think that's what Ravi Dasri talked about. Let's not overuse it. Where it's essential, let's use it. So whether it's your smart home, smart technology, you should know when to use it, when not to use it. I think that is where we should know where automation has relevance and where it does not. So ethics, biases, all these are coming in from the humans into what we call as artificial intelligence mockery. It's us who are the architects of that machine or what we feed into the machine. So, or as a sum up, I would request the engineering college and the educators to start looking at the core data sciences, the core domains, whether it's civil engineering, electronics engineering, electrical engineering, and so on. You should continue to work on it. But wherever there are applications, be it in health tech, as we say, technology is leveraged in every vertical. Imagine somebody doing a surgery, and that's what our chief guest talked about, in remote villages, and you can deploy AI because everybody can't reach. You don't have enough resources. That is where you bring in and give it that control. But that control is still in the hands of the architect. You will know when to deploy it and how to deploy it. If we can do this in every aspect, we will all be continuing to smile and not see it as a threat. And I think the drinks and food is ready for us. Now we are trying to satiate our curiosity intellectually. Now we're going to satiate our curiosity from a cuisine and the delicious food awaiting. Thank you, VNR Vijay for this. And we'll continue to have this dialogue. It's an ongoing one. Stay curious, stay hungry, both intellectually as well as from your physical, curiosity. Yeah. Thank you all. Thank you, Mr. Panda. And thank you, my panelists.
That brings us to the end of our second panel discussion. We sincerely thank our panelists for sharing their valuable time and perspectives. We also thank our audience for being such an engaged and attentive part of today's session. Now, I request Shri Suresh Babu Sir, President, Vienna VJIT, and Dr. B. Chennakeshav Rao, Principal, Vienna VJIT, to felicitate Dr. Kiranmai Pendyala. Now I request sirs to felicitate Mr. Ritesh Jha. Now I request sirs to felicitate Mr. Shrikant Surampudi, and I also request Dr. Pardasarthi, Head TNP, to join us on stage. Now I request sirs to felicitate Mr. Madhusudan Reddy.
It is my pleasure to introduce Mr. Srinivas Taluka, Vice President T-Hub. Mr. Srinivas Taluka is a seasoned management professional and infrastructure leader with over 25 years of experience in operational excellence, currently serving as a Vice President of Facilities at T-Hub. He is a pivotal figure in the startup ecosystem, having been instrumental in building and operating the world's largest innovation campus in Hyderabad.
Sorry to interrupt because I don't want to be in between their drinks and you know uh, myself, sir. Suresh Babu, sir. It is always happy to see you in T Hub. Uh, Whenever you comes with some energy. We love that. Subarao, sir. Thank you very much for being here. And HR leaders of all the corporates, young leaders, not the students, young future leaders. Good evening to one and all. It is my great honor to have you all in T Hub. T Hub is not just a building, but this is the world's largest innovation campus dedicated for startups. Today, I'm feeling happy, uh, not just because I'm serving here, because this place, as I speak, yesterday, so our Cyberabad security police have completed 23 years and they celebrated 24th anniversary. And on this stage, there are in 23 years, 10 commissioner of police served Cyberabad commissionerate. Out of 10, 8 were on the stage. So that is this place, and I'm happy and also take pride in managing this campus. Mr. Pandaji has requested me to talk about T Hub. I'm sure many of you or most of you already aware of T Hub, but people who have not known about T Hub, I will take 2 minutes of your time, and then you can go out for a dinner. So what is T Hub? T Hub is an initiative of government of Telangana So it is started with two purpose. Purpose one is to support startups, and purpose two is to foster innovation at corporates. So what we do for startups is predominantly we support startups with market access, we support startups with mentoring, we support startups with funding. So these are the three primary things which we do. In addition to that, we also offer co-working space to startups in the building at a much subsidized price. As in today, T-Hub has impacted 2,500 startups, and we have worked with 600 corporates in terms of their innovation journey. Right? Not just this, but we've also within T-Hub. T-Hub is, as I mentioned, it is world's largest innovation campus. T-Hub is an incubation center, but within T-Hub, we have other more incubation centers called AIC and Math. So AIC T-Hub is focusing on five sectors, which is healthcare, semiconductor, sustainability, EV, and semiconductor. So if you need any support in those sectors, we have startups readily available. Startups can come and solve your innovation challenges or problems. And then we also have Math. A lot of people are talking about Math is machine learning, artificial intelligence technology hub, which is supported by Department of Science and Technology. So Math, we have 100 plus startups in the in the building, so they are ready to support. Not um, uh, not just about the startups, but what we do is that we also have value partners. Through that, these value partners, when somebody becomes a T Hub startup, value partners offer free credits to these startups. So you all can also look at taking that as an option in case if you are interested. And then one more option which I can roll out to all of you, that if you have passion, if you want to work with startups, you can be our mentors. So if you are interested, please let us know. We'll be happy to connect you with our mentor desk. Then last but not least, wonderful points came up during the discussion. Oh, I don't know. This presentation is playing. In fact, I was just going through. Okay, these are the numbers. I think instead of in the interest of the time, let's not do a presentation. If anyone wants to know about T Hub, I'll be happy to talk to you offline. But sir, overall, wonderful panel, wonderful discussions some came out. But my personal belief that AI will enhance the human experience. That's point number one. Somebody said, AI will take jobs or something. I strongly believe AI will not take the jobs, but people who are, enabled with AI will take our jobs. So it is time for all of us to, get equipped with AI. We are already started. AI has become like a plastic. Now we cannot avoid. AI, like we are not able to avoid plastic. AI has also got into, like ma'am already mentioned that, it is already there. You open a phone and then AI is recording what we are doing, which is nothing but machine learning, right? One more point. Today we are talking about AI, but soon, sir, we are going to talk about quantum computing. That is a new technology. Deep tech is going to lead us. Thank you very much. Have a great time.
Now I request Sri Dagupati Suresh Babu and Dr. B. Chennakesava Rao felicitate Mr. Srinivas Taluka. We now invite Mr. Victor Samuel, Officer, Learning and Development, VNR VJIT, to propose a vote of thanks.
Good evening, one and all. Distinguished dignitaries, respected guests, esteemed panelists, faculty members, staff, and dear students, a very good evening once again. As we draw this enlightening event to a close, it is my privilege and honor to stand before you to propose the vote of thanks. An event of this magnitude and success is never the effort of a single individual. It is a collective contribution of many hands and minds. Today, we have witnessed thought provoking discussions, profound insights, and inspiring addresses that will undoubtedly leave
a lasting impact on all of us. First and foremost, I extend my deepest gratitude to our chief guest, Subbarao Garu, for gracing this occasion and sharing his insights. And I also thank guest of honor, Sri Srinivas Reddy Garu, for his insightful address and for adding great value to this gathering. My sincere thanks to our President D. Suresh Babu Garu, President Vinyan Jyoti, and Sri Srinivas Taluka, T-Hub, for their gracious presence and encouraging words. And lastly, he has explained about T-Hub. Hope there's insightful details. So extend my heartfelt gratitude to our respected principal, B. Channakeshwara Garu, and our head of the department, training and placements, Dr. Parasa, for their constant guidance and support in making this event a success. So a special word of appreciation to our Mr. Ranjan Panda for steering this entire event very professionally. And I also thanks to the panel members and the moderators Ravi Dasari and Kiran Garu and the entire panelists who have given good insights. Okay, so I also take the opportunity to thank all the attendees who have made this event a wonderful success. And as I conclude, as technology replacing jobs and skills expire faster than ever, we are compelled to ask, are we enough investing in capability building? So this platform has given lot many actionable recommendations, in fact, that will shape tomorrow's future. So with this, I'd like to conclude the program. Thanks to one and all. We have dinner arranged. Maybe there is an entrance. On our right side, we have food as well as cocktails. Please join. Thank you, one and all. And one more word.